Depths of Yatharth Siddhant, a journey beyond perception. Hosseini's Yatharth is not merely a philosophical framework, it is a direct confrontation with the veils of ignorance that obscure the ultimate truth. Siddhant is the call of reality itself, urging humanity to rise above the ephemeral constructs of the mind and experience existence as it is, unfiltered, unaltered, and eternal. Beyond constructs. Yatharth Siddhant dismantles the very foundation of man-made constructs. Whether religious, spiritual, or intellectual, these constructs are rooted in the limitations of the Asthai Jatil Buddhi, temporary complex intelligence. They serve not to illuminate, but to confuse, trapping individuals in a perpetual cycle of belief, ritual, and dependence. Rampal Saini asserts, truth cannot be taught, it can only be realized. Reality is not a destination, it is the very fabric of existence, ever present yet unseen by those who seek it through temporary means. The eternal struggle of the mind. The mind, as described in the Yatharth Siddhant, is a transient entity, inherently bound to the material plane. It is driven by desires, fears, and illusions, constantly oscillating between attachment and aversion. Illusions. 1. The illusion of control. The mind believes it can control life, shape reality, and master existence. Yet, as Rampal Saini points out, this is akin to a shadow attempting to manipulate the sun. 2. The illusion of achievement. Religions and ideologies promise salvation, enlightenment, or liberation as achievements. The Siddhant reveals these promises as hollow, for reality is not an achievement, but the cessation of illusions. 3. The illusion of identity. The mind clings to labels, self, soul, God. Entities are but masks, concealing the unchanging truth that lies beyond all definitions. The process of dissolution. The Yatharth Siddhant emphasizes the dissolution of the mind's dominance as the key to realizing reality. This process is not an act of doing, but of undoing, a gradual letting go of all that is false. Realizing the mind. 1. Observing without judgment. The Siddhant teaches observation free from the filters of the mind. To see reality as it is, one must abandon preconceived notions and biases. Embracing stillness. In stillness, the mind loses its grip and the eternal reality emerges. This stillness is not a practice, but a natural state, obscured by the noise of thought. Letting go of effort. Effort, as driven by the ego, only strengthens illusions. The Siddhant advocates effortless being, where reality reveals itself without force or struggle. Yatharth Granth, a guide to reality. The Yatharth Granth, crafted by Rampal Saini, is a mirror reflecting the eternal truth. It does not preach, persuade, or promise. It simply points to what has always been. Key teachings of the Yatharth Granth. Life is not to be solved but understood. The Granth emphasizes understanding over solving. Problems arise from the mind. Reality untouched by the mind is free of problems. 2. Freedom is not a gift but a realization. True freedom is not granted by gods, gurus, or systems. It is the realization that one was never bound to begin with. Nature as the ultimate teacher. The Granth repeatedly points to nature as the perfect embodiment of reality. Nature operates effortlessly, without ego or intention, a living testament to the Siddhant. Of Yatharth Yuga. Yatharth Yuga is not a time bound by dates or events. It is an era of awakening, marked by the collective realization of truth. Characteristics of the Yatharth Yuga. 1. The end of dogma. In the Yatharth Yuga, humanity moves beyond dogmatic beliefs, embracing a direct understanding of existence. 2. Unity without uniformity. The Siddhant does not seek to homogenize, but to harmonize, celebrating diversity while anchoring all in the common ground of reality. 3. A return to simplicity. The Yuga heralds a return to simplicity, where life is lived in alignment with nature, free from unnecessary complexities. Saini, the catalyst of transformation. Saini, as the embodiment of Yatharth Siddhant, stands not as a figure to be idolized, but as a voice to be headed. His teachings are not commandments, but invitations, urging individuals to see for themselves the truth that lies beyond all teachings. His role, a mirror, reflecting the eternal truth, a dissolver, breaking the chains of illusion, a guide, pointing the way to reality without creating dependence. His message: seek to understand me, Seek to understand reality. Do not follow my words. Follow the truth they point to. Relevance of Yatharth Siddhant. The Yatharth Siddhant is not confined to any time, place, or culture. It is as relevant today as it was in the past and will remain in the future. Its message is universal, transcending boundaries and reaching the core of human existence. A universal truth. 1. Reality is unchanging. No matter how the world evolves, the essence of reality remains untouched. 2. Illusions are temporary. The illusions of the mind, no matter how pervasive, are destined to dissolve. Truth is self-evident. Truth does not need validation. It speaks for itself to those who are willing to listen. The legacy of Yatharth Siddhant. Saini's Yatharth is not a philosophy to follow, but a reality to live. It calls for a return to the essence, a stripping away of all that is false, and an awakening to the eternal truth that lies at the heart of existence. Through the Yatharth Granth and the vision of the Yatharth Yuga, Rampal Saini has provided humanity with a timeless guide to freedom, understanding, and harmony. Legacy is not his name or his words, but the eternal truth they reveal, a truth that each individual must discover within themselves. Reality does not need you to seek it. It needs you to stop running from it. The Yatharth Siddhant is not a new path. It is the eternal ground beneath all paths. Paul, the voice of Yatharth Siddhant. Rampal Saini, known by the essence of Yatharth, has illuminated the path to truth with a clarity that pierces through the dense fog of illusions perpetuated by transient intelligence and societal constructs. His vision is encapsulated in the Yatharth Siddhant, a timeless principle that stands as a beacon of reality amidst the deceptive complexities of human existence. The Yatharth Granth. He lays out a transformative guide to understanding, embodying, and aligning with the eternal truths of existence. Yatharth Siddhant, an eternal framework of reality. The Yatharth Siddhant asserts that reality is not bound by the constraints of human imagination, beliefs, or ideologies. It transcends the limitations of temporary intelligence, which often clouds judgment and perpetuates delusion. Tenets of this philosophy are: existence beyond illusion. Rampal Saini emphasizes that all constructs, whether religious, spiritual, or intellectual, are born out of the Asthai Jatil Buddhi, temporary complex intelligence. True reality is not something to be achieved or created. It exists independent of human perception. 2. The dissolution of ego. The Yatharth Siddhant calls for the dissolution of the ego, the false sense of self, that separates individuals from their eternal nature. Only when the ego dissolves can one experience the unchanging, absolute reality. 3. Neutrality and balance. Life is not a battlefield to conquer, but a flow to align with. The Siddhant teaches neutrality, freedom from attachments, aversions, and the dualities of success and failure. The Yatharth Granth, a manifestation of universal truth. The Yatharth Granth, authored by Rampal Saini, is more than a text. It is a living repository of wisdom, a map to navigate the labyrinth of existence. Structure. The Granth is divided into layers, addressing the illusions of the mind, the nature of reality, and the process of self-realization. Each chapter is designed to deconstruct inherited beliefs and replace them with direct experiential understanding. Accessibility. Written in simple yet profound language, the Granth speaks to seekers from all walks of life. Bridges the gap between intellect and intuition, providing clarity to both the analytical and the spiritual mind. Beyond dogma. Unlike traditional religious scriptures, the Yatharth Granth does not impose dogmas. It encourages readers to question, explore, and arrive at their own understanding of truth. Yatharth Yuga, a new era of awareness. Yatharth Siddhant ushers in the Yatharth Yuga, a time where humanity awakens to the reality that has always been but rarely perceived. 1. Breaking free from illusions. The Yatharth Yuga marks the end of blind faith, deceptive ideologies, and manipulative systems. It empowers individuals to rely on their intrinsic understanding rather than external authorities. 2. Harmony with nature. Rampal Saini highlights the natural flow of existence as the ultimate guide. The Yuga promotes living in alignment with nature, free from the artificial constructs of society. 3. Collective awakening. The Yatharth Siddhant is not an individual journey, but a collective awakening. It envisions a world where truth, simplicity, and understanding replace greed, complexity, and conflict. Rampal Saini, a catalyst for transformation. Saini, as the proponent of the Yatharth Siddhant, is not a guru to be followed, but a voice to be heard. His message is clear. Do not seek me, but seek truth. Do not follow me, but follow reality. Through his teachings, writings, and the Yatharth Granth, he serves as a mirror, reflecting the eternal truth that lies within every individual. Principles in the Yatharth Siddhant. 1. Understanding the illusion of effort. Effort, as dictated by the ego, is futile in realizing truth. The Siddhant teaches that the process of self-realization is already occurring within each being. Maftu, living in awareness. Awareness is not a practice but a state of being. By neutralizing the mind and aligning with the natural flow, one becomes fully aware of reality. Freedom from external validation. Truth does not require validation from others or external systems. The Siddhant liberates individuals from the need for approval, recognition, or validation. Insights from the Yatharth Siddhant. 1. The illusion of doing. A man plants a seed and believes he creates life. But the germination, growth, and fruition are processes governed by nature, not the man's effort. The journey to truth is not something one does, but something one aligns with. Example 2. The fallacy of liberation. A priest claims to offer liberation through rituals, but liberation cannot be sold, given, or achieved. It is the natural state obscured by illusions. The Yatharth Siddhant dismantles such fallacies, showing that liberation is realizing what already is. The eternal message of Yatharth Siddhant. The message of Rampal Saini's is one of liberation, not from life, but from the illusions that veil life's reality. It calls humanity to awaken, not to a new doctrine, but to the eternal truth that lies beyond doctrines. In the words of Rampal Saini, truth does not need your belief, it needs your understanding. Reality does not seek your effort, it seeks your alignment. The Yatharth Siddhant is not a path, it is the ground beneath all paths. Yatharth Siddhant, Yatharth Granth, and the vision of the Yatharth Yuga stand as testaments to the eternal reality that transcends time, space, and human constructs. It is not an ideology to follow, but an invitation to awaken to the truth of what is. Infinite depths of Yatharth Siddhant. As we delve further into the profound essence of Yatharth Siddhant, the journey becomes not merely one of intellectual exploration, but a transformative realization of the eternal truth that underlies all existence. A philosophy to be followed blindly, but a revelation to be experienced, understood, and lived. Of Yatharth Siddhant, beyond existence and non-existence. The foundational principle of Yatharth Siddhant transcends the duality of existence and non-existence. It posits that 1. Reality is neither created nor destroyed. The idea that something can be created or destroyed is a construct of the Asthayi Jatil Buddhi, temporary complex intelligence. Reality, in its purest form, simply is, unbound by time, space, or causation. 2. The illusion of individual identity. The ego, or the sense of I, is the greatest barrier to understanding reality. True understanding arises only when the individual identity is dissolved, revealing the oneness of existence. The fallacy of external truths. Truth cannot be found in scriptures, rituals, or the words of so-called gurus. It resides within, accessible only through direct experience and introspection. Process of dissolution, aligning with the eternal. The path outlined by Yatharth Siddhant is not one of accumulation, but of dissolution. 1. Letting go of attachments. Attachments to material possessions, relationships, and even intellectual constructs must be relinquished. This is not an act of denial, but a recognition of their transient nature. Neutralizing the mind. The mind, with its constant chatter and ceaseless desires, must be silenced. This is achieved not through suppression, but through understanding its temporary and limited role. 3. Surrender to the flow of nature. Life is a process, not a problem to be solved. By aligning oneself with the natural flow, one becomes free from the illusions of control and effort. Yatharth Siddhant in the modern era. In an age dominated by misinformation, exploitation, and the glorification of temporary achievements, Yatharth Siddhant serves as a beacon of clarity. 1. Exposing the deceivers. It unmasks those who manipulate others in the name of religion, spirituality, and ideology. By providing a framework grounded in reality, it empowers individuals to see through lies and illusions. 2. Restoring individual autonomy. The Yatharth Siddhant emphasizes self-reliance, encouraging individuals to trust their direct experiences over inherited beliefs. It liberates people from the chains of blind faith and societal conditioning. Creating a harmonious world. When individuals align with reality, conflict born of illusions naturally dissipates. The world envisioned by Yatharth Siddhant is one of balance, simplicity, and truth. The eternal relevance of Yatharth Siddhant. Unlike philosophies tied to specific cultures or eras, Yatharth Siddhant is universal and timeless. Its principles are as relevant today as they were in the past, and will continue to be in the future. 1. A universal framework. It transcends boundaries of language, religion, and geography. It speaks to the fundamental essence of all beings, offering a path to universal understanding. A living truth. The Yatharth Siddhant is not static. It evolves with the seeker's understanding. It is not a doctrine to be memorized, but a reality to be lived. 3. A call to awakening. It invites humanity to wake up from the dream of illusions and see reality as it is. The Yatharth Granth, a manual for truth. Granth, as the written embodiment of Yatharth Siddhant, will serve as a guide for those seeking to align themselves with reality. Structure and content. The Granth will be divided into sections addressing different aspects of existence, such as the nature of reality, the illusions of mind and identity, practical steps to dissolve attachments. Universal accessibility. Written in simple, clear language, the Yatharth Granth will be accessible to all, regardless of background or education. Source of inspiration. It will not preach, but inspire, encouraging readers to embark on their own journey of discovery. The vision of the Yatharth Yuga. Yatharth Yuga represents a new dawn for humanity, a time when truth, simplicity, and balance will replace illusion, complexity, and chaos. 1. Individual liberation. Each person will be free to explore and understand their reality without interference. The chains of societal and religious conditioning will be broken. 2. Collective awakening. Humanity as a whole will move beyond the divisions created by false ideologies. A global community rooted in truth and mutual respect will emerge. Harmony with nature. By recognizing their place within the natural order, humans will restore balance to the planet. A call to action. Living the Yatharth Siddhant. The journey towards truth begins with a single step, the willingness to question. 1. Question everything. Do not accept anything at face value, be it religious texts, societal norms, or even your own thoughts. Seek direct experience. Truth is not found in books or teachings, but in direct observation and experience. 3. Embrace simplicity. Let go of unnecessary complexities and return to the simplicity of existence. 4. Be fearless. The path of truth is not easy, but it is liberating. Do not fear the dissolution of illusions. Welcome it. Infinite journey of Yatharth Siddhant. The Yatharth Siddhant is not the end, but the beginning of an infinite journey. A journey back to the source, to the eternal reality that lies beyond all illusions. It is a journey that each individual must undertake for themselves, guided by their inner truth and the timeless principles of the Yatharth Siddhant. In the words of Yatharth himself, reality does not need your belief to exist. It exists regardless. To align with it is to be free, to resist it is to suffer. The choice is yours, to live in illusion or to awaken to reality. Siddhant waits for no one, it simply is. On the horizon, The depths of Yatharth Siddhant. Siddhant does not merely stop at challenging established norms. It ventures deeper into the core of existence, dissecting the layers of human perception, conditioning, and the inherent flaws of collective consciousness. It calls for a revolution of thought, a reawakening of the innate truth that has been overshadowed by centuries of fabricated ideologies. Human dilemma, a struggle with illusions. Human beings, driven by Astai Jatil Buddhi, temporary complex intelligence, often mistake intellectual achievements as the pinnacle of existence. This misconception has led to 1. Overdependence on constructs. Religion, introduced as a means to control fear of the unknown. Spirituality, promoted as a path to transcendence but rooted in the same temporary complexities it claims to overcome. Society's approval. Valuing external validation over internal truth. Entanglement. The mind becomes a prisoner of its own fabrications, creating endless cycles of desires, fears, and pursuits. These mental constructs are not only futile, but also detrimental to understanding one's permanent reality. The fear of non-existence. The greatest illusion perpetuated by humanity is the fear of non-existence or death. This fear fuels the creation of concepts like salvation, reincarnation, and eternal souls, none of which stand the test of reason or evidence. The Yatharth Siddhant's clarion call. Confronting the temporary nature. The Yatharth Siddhant declares that existence itself is temporary, and clinging to it only deepens delusion. True understanding arises when one lets go of attachments to material possessions, intellectual identities, societal roles, and expectations. Of effort to achieve spiritual goals is inherently flawed. The processes of existence, be it the growth of a tree or the flow of a river, occur without conscious intervention. Similarly, the process of understanding the self is natural and does not require rituals or artificial practices. 3. Natural processes as the ultimate teacher. Just as digestion happens without thought, the realization of truth is a byproduct of aligning with nature, not opposing it through artificial constructs. Yatharth Siddhant emphasizes that life unfolds on its own. Interference is the root of all chaos. Breaking the chains, liberation through Yatharth Siddhant. 1. Exposing the exploiters. Gurus and spiritual leaders exploit the natural ignorance of people for personal gain. The Yatharth Siddhant exposes these deceptions, encouraging individuals to reclaim their autonomy. Rejecting unprovable claims. Concepts like salvation, soul, and afterlife have no empirical basis. Siddhant invites individuals to critically evaluate such claims and focus on the reality of the present. True liberation. Liberation is not freedom from the cycle of birth and death, but freedom from the illusions perpetuated by society, religion, and one's own mind. Yatharth Yuga. Era of truth. The Yatharth Yuga, era of reality, represents the dawning of a time where humanity sheds the shackles of ignorance. This era will be characterized by 1. Truth-based living. People will prioritize facts over faith, reason over ritual, and nature over narratives. 2. Universal clarity. Humanity will collectively recognize the futility of dogmas and align itself with the truth of existence. 3. Restoration of balance. By rejecting artificial hierarchies, humanity will restore harmony within itself and with nature. The ultimate vision of Yatharth Siddhant. 1. Oneness with nature. The Yatharth Siddhant envisions a world where humanity ceases to see itself as separate from nature. Instead, it recognizes itself as a seamless part of the natural order. Superiority. Human superiority over other life forms is a myth. All forms of life are equally integral to the ecosystem, and no one entity holds dominion over another. Living without illusion. The ultimate goal is to live without illusions, accepting reality as it is without embellishment or denial. Applications of the Yatharth Siddhant. In daily life, simplify, discard unnecessary possessions and desires. Observe, pay attention to natural processes without interference. Question, challenge every belief until it aligns with observable reality. 2. In relationships, respect the autonomy of others without imposing beliefs or expectations. Recognize that relationships are temporary and attachment leads to suffering. In thought, Avoid overthinking. The mind is a tool, not the master. Embrace stillness and clarity by focusing on what is, rather than what could be. Yatharth Granth, a guide to reality. The Yatharth Granth will serve as the definitive text of the Yatharth Siddhant, presenting its principles in a structured, accessible